Stacey Jacks. Hateful music. Sex. This club is totally out of control. We're gonna shut them down.
Our whole existence is riding on Stacey Jacks. Rock and roll!
Hey, Leon,
What's that?
you remember that piece of advice I gave you when I invited you to this movie reviewing game we got going on? Remember what I told you?
What advice was that?
Welcome to the jungle! blah, 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 blah. You know, that's what this movie is.
You don't know the next line?
That's not the lyrics right there. Blah, 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 blah.
I tell you, when I was going into this movie, I was hoping for nothing but a good time, right? I was like, come on, movie, hit me with the best shot. But then I gotta admit,
No.
I couldn't fight this. I couldn't fight the feeling anymore. This movie hardened my heart.
Stop it.
Oh, I got a feeling for your ass right
The reason I did that, as painful as it was, to illustrate just how bad this movie is, because it was exactly like listening to that joke.
Well, that's what it was. I mean, it's not really so much a joke as to prove a point. If you don't like these kind of situations where people just break out in song, then you're really not going to like this, because one thing I can say about musicals, good musicals, is that, and I love musicals, is that people usually break out in original pieces of music. But here, they just cut on a jukebox somewhere, or somebody cut on their iPad or their iPhone, and people just started doing, like you said, like karaoke.
You know, in your whole sentence there, you mentioned one important word, breakout, which is what I fucking did during this movie. I mean, wow. This is
he broke the hell out like he had the chicken pox.
Yeah, but this is the first time in the longest time of my
Leon, go ahead. So I'm sorry. You're so really interrupted by this pun.
Let that joke breathe right now.
Yeah.
You know, but this movie right here, wow. I think I finally found my kryptonite. Because in my whole career of reviewing movies, I've never had a movie that did what this one did to me, which was completely ruin my fucking experience as far as watching a movie on the silver screen and giving me the most nauseating time of my life.
Really? This is the one?
I had to get the fuck out of there.
You've seen a lot of movies, co-host.
I've seen a lot of shit. A lot of shit.
Now you watch what you say here. You've seen a lot. Think about this history. You've been doing this for years.
Oh, yeah.
Now this is the one that broke you.
This is the one that broke my back, broke my fucking, broke my ass's back, broke every back I could ever possibly dream of. Yeah, this was the one that fucking did it for me.
Yeah,
It's the bane of movies.
It really
He
is.
didn't just walk out. He ran out because he took off. It was like, damn, he just left like one of those Looney Tunes dust things.
Little after images.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of shimmered for a
I
little
was
bit.
like, oh, he must have had to go to the bathroom or something. And like after about 30 minutes, I turned to Leon. I'm like, I don't think co-host is coming back.
Well, for a split second, I almost felt bad about it because I never ever I never get the fuck out of there.
Never leave a man behind.
Never leave a movie because I know I have a job to do and it's my job to sit there and endure the bullshit and hopefully it'll make a really good review. This one, I couldn't fucking do it. I could not do it. And I was like, maybe I'll tell the guys I'm going to leave for a little bit and come back. But as soon as I fucking left that theater, I was in my car. Getting the fuck out of there.
You could taste freedom.
Like, it was like that fucking John Cusack movie where he's trying to outrun every goddamn natural catastrophe that's coming his way. Yeah.
Using that little co-host bill, just speeding down the street.
I gotta say, I was twice as angry coming out of this movie when I found out the co-host had left in the middle of it. I was like, God damn it, he didn't tell me. And I sat through this.
Well, you know. You were mad at me. You were mad at him, but you were really mad at me because you gave me a call. You're like, where the fuck were you? And I had forgotten about this movie. Like, I didn't even know it was playing that night. And I was like, where was I supposed to be? And you're like, oh, you just gonna think go slide out of Rock of Ages. I was like,
Leon barely gets mad about stuff like this. He is the poised gentleman who reserved about these things. But we're outside afterwards just kvetching about this fucking thing. Like, yeah, what about this? And these friends of ours come by and go, hey, didn't you love it? And we both went, like, you're stupid. Fuck you.
No, it's hearing somebody say that makes you just want to give up on mankind.
It does.
Altogether.
Well, especially when they're going like, oh, we thought it was great. It's the music we grew up with. And I'm like, wait, no. It's the music we grew up, that was on while we were growing up. But there was much cooler things, much better music to listen to. Look, if you only like this movie because you like this music, by the fucking time life gift set and be done with it.
Says, hey man, is that Reagan rock? Yeah, man.
We'll turn that shit off.
Destroy that shit.
Burn it.
I don't need to see a bunch of actors embarrassing themselves doing bad karaoke versions of these songs. Because, hey, you know what? I can just go out to any bar on a Friday night and watch a bunch of drunk white girls do the same thing.
Seriously. And you know what? Above and beyond that, like, I was thinking to myself, you know what? If they had taken all the music that I loved from that period of time, I mean, there's a couple songs in here that I really liked from then, just a few, but still, if they had replaced it with songs that I all thought was good, it would still be an utter piece of shit
Thank
movie.
you for
because
saying
the
that.
music is the tiniest bit of the problem of what's wrong with this horrible, horrible film. You know, like musicals ever since there were musicals have indoctrinated currently popular songs into them. This isn't a new thing at all. They used to take George Gershwin songs that were popular and go, oh, well, let's write a musical around them.
Yeah, I
That's
understand.
not unheard of. So I don't have a problem with that, but it's still done incredibly bad in every other way.
Well, Leon, first of all, I have to say that I have to disagree with you about the drunk white girl thing being a bad thing. I used to be at karaoke night like a hog when they were, so drunk white girls get up there and start singing.
Okay, okay, then I can understand why you like this movie so much, because it brought back those fond memories
Yeah,
for you.
there's drunken white girls
I know.
singing these songs in this movie.
It's the only thing that could make any possible sense right now.
I tell you, what was that called? What was that song called? Something of the heart. None of the heart.
Total Eclipse.
Total Eclipse of the heart. That was the
Bonnie
signal.
Raitt?
Yeah, that was the signal. Those girls
Bonnie
were.
Tyler.
Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah,
sorry,
those girls were nice and ripe to go when they start singing that. Bitches get up there and start crying and start getting upset. Yeah, I have some fun memories about this period of music, man. I don't know. I don't have
That's
a
a
problem.
sad fact.
I-
That should never be repeated.
I have fun.
I'm sad. I like this music from this period. I'm not ashamed of it.
You should
I'm open-minded. I like everything.
Aren't you black?
I know.
Don't you ever say that to me.
Sorry. I'm just looking at these songs and like, really? Pour Some Sugar on Me was one of the songs that floated your boat as a young man.
Classic American anthem right there.
Oh, okay, all right. So
but
every rose has its thorn was heavy in rotation on your
Story of
cassette
my
player.
ninth grade year.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wow.
But man, let me tell you something. I think there's a reason why people look. There's a reason why people have fun memories of this music. I mean, it was fun music, and people probably expect this movie to be a good time because. Now, you guys were correcting me. This is not a Broadway play, but this is an off-Broadway play. Yeah. But
Hopefully it stays off.
Well, successful enough to get a movie starring Tom Cruise, and if you read about the play itself, I can get why they probably wanted to make it a movie too. It's a very popular play. It's a comedy, so it's not taking itself too seriously. It's interactive with the audience. It's using music that people remember and love. It's nostalgic. I think this movie probably fails in a way because you saying that's why I love this movie so much. I don't love this movie, and I don't even really like this movie. I just don't detest it like you guys.
If you don't detest it, then you love it, and we hate you.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what?
You know what, guys? Let's get them.
I mean, I'm all about shades of gray, but this one is a either or.
Let me tell you,
it's a us or them.
We're locking you in the basement with Henrietta.
Y'all
That's
can
it.
do whatever you want to me. Let me tell you something. Yeah, to be hated by the guy that loves Adam Sandler movies, to be hated by the guy that loves every bad movie that comes out every year.
Wait, what?
Every bad movie. That
No,
comes
okay,
out-
I'm exaggerating.
What is an example of said movie?
Oh, I
that
can.
you
Oh
really
man, let's go back in time, please. Enter my time machine of shittiness right here.
Leon, enter the realm of desperate.
Y'all can say what you want
You
to.
clearly love nostalgia so much.
We'll just go right past Jack and Jill. The movie that you love.
We
so
should.
much. Okay, we'll slide right past that. I'm gonna leave you alone right here. But The Devil Inside, the year before, you were there. You
Devil
witnessed
Inside?
this.
Oh, I wasn't there at that.
But you witnessed the one the year before, which was the Now Lay Me Down to Sleep, whatever that fucking movie was, My Soul to Take.
You didn't love that.
I didn't love any of these.
You love these movies. You came out and said that these are classics.
Did you say that? Did you say that about Cars 2, Corey?
Did I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
You're like, hey man, it's animation. I love it.
I'm so relieved I've always been accurate with my reviews.
Cyrus, I'm gonna
no
say
one
that.
can give me any shit.
Lately, you've been making sense. I have no quarrel with you, sir.
He found the one guy that he can relate to.
That is a mixed blessing.
I know. I'm sort of trying to get him on my side. But I tell you, this just to give you a brief summary of this movie. It's very simple. because they really are using the soundtrack more as a character in the movie than the stories itself. You got three main storylines going on. The girl who comes to the big city, Los Angeles, who wants to be a big singing star. Got the guy who's working as a busboy at a bar who also wants to be a big singing star. These stories parallel the star of an aging rocker who starts to find his sensitivity, love, and discover his inner soul. And, you know, I mean, all this.
The comeback of Axl Rose.
No, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, we've all seen that. We've all seen that tragedy.
Yeah.
He's tried, but it ain't
That's what this fucking movie should have been about. You know, that probably would have made it far more interesting than the fucking meandering goddamn plot that they basically pulled from every generic hair band fucking lyric that you can think of and make it into a movie.
Which I hate that someone just now listening to this said, well, yeah, but that makes sense because those are the songs. Shut up.
Yeah, shut up. No,
you know what? You can't take cliche and just tell the audience, no, it's nostalgia, and that's okay. It's not. It's just
No, it's not. Cliche. They took the entire cliche of the rock and roll dream and turned it into a fucking rock and roll nightmare.
With
this
Alice
story.
That was the thing I thought, because it loves to preach like, man, this is rock and roll. Rock and roll is hard edge. And there's nothing hard edge about this movie. Matter of fact, one of the reasons that pushed me to hating it is watching just how fucking calculated it is. It's toothless on purpose. It goes out of its way to not do anything interesting. It's like, you know what? We could have this interesting subplot. No. We want to keep it simple for our audience because this is what they like.
It really is.
We just keep it simple and kind of dull.
Well, I think that I could see where people, and see, you know what, you guys, you talk about me all you want to. I'm not going to go to your level. I understand how you feel. I'm going to let you have your opinion.
Do you now?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you, Kanye.
All right, let's hear this.
I do, because this is going to be a hard movie for a lot of people to take. First of all, I'm surprised that I did not hate it, because I have a problem with these kind of movies where they take existing songs and work them into their own story. Perfect example that you guys know is Moulin Rouge.
Right.
Can't stand Moulin Rouge. I don't even like Mamma Mia. I saw Mamma Mia and I thought, well, this is a female thing, so I don't like it because I'm a guy. But when these kind of movies, as I said, when people bust out the songs that already exist and start doing cheesy dancing and singing, that's hard. And plus, this music, as witnessed by you guys, Pete, not everybody likes this music. Some people despise this music. On top of that, how many people are going to be able to take Tom Cruise with long hair singing Bon Jovi, and not to mention Alec Baldwin, who's also playing an aging rock guy who owns a bar. He has that fucking hair down his shoulders, and he's trying to like have the 5 o'clock shadow that's all trendy. But it for some people, that's going to be embarrassing to see him do that.
Well, not as embarrassing as the way his whole character is there just to lead up to one of the worst like jokes imaginable. You're like, really? That's the only reason this guy's in this movie?
And that's a joke.
Build up that joke?
That's a joke that they always save until the end of the movie. You know, that is like the one like, but you didn't see this one coming, but you did because this is a comedy or whatever. And I was like, really? Already in the middle of the movie, why I felt, wow, this movie is going to be a long fucking movie. It's never going to end because there's a lot of these story plot lines, a lot of these characters that they're throwing at you where halfway through the movie, you don't even feel like there's a halfway point at all. You feel like they're just starting the stories,
which is
halfway
unfortunate
through.
Because 5 minutes into this film, I had predicted everything that was going to happen in the plot lines
because
we've all heard the songs, we've seen this a billion times, and they take them and they don't do anything even mildly interesting with those stories.
But I'll tell you what, I'll tell you a real big point about this movie that I really couldn't stand was the fact that the two lead characters were acting their asses off. Like they were in something legitimately good, while the all-star cast, they were fucking acting like they were in a really fucking long, terrible SNL skit. Like a Saturday Night Live skit that was absolutely going nowhere. They already hit their jokes early on in the movie, and they just keep pushing it forward where you're like, please, somebody make this stop.
Well, you know what? That's one of the problems with the film. The director, I'm trying to find it, Adam Shankman. It's funny because I was looking at this.
Wait, that guy's got a lot of credits.
No, that's somebody else you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
This guy's actually pretty new. If I'm not mistaken.
Who are you thinking of?
He is a choreographer from So You Think You Can Dance.
Oh shit. Okay,
well, he's a choreographer, but
he
to deal with
also
this,
did the Hairspray remake, Bringing Down the House.
Well, before you go any further, the thing is with this movie, I'm looking at certain parts of it. Your two main actors that you're talking about, Julian Hough and Diego Boneta. They're young actors, and in this movie, their characters are supposed to be fresh and full of love and innocent in a way. And that's cool, but do they have to play it in such a way that's so golly gee?
Well, yeah, it's Disney Channel earnest, and it gets old really
Well, this
fast.
director, and I was looking at them and I said, I hate Glee. I don't even watch Glee, but the commercials fucking annoy me about Glee. And those two kids were acting like those commercials I see of Glee. It turns out this director has directed episodes of Glee. He's directed some television. There's some television directing going on right here. And I will say, Alec Baldwin, I didn't mind him. I actually love seeing him in the costume, trying to dress like a rocker with the chains and the painted fingernails. Him and Tom Cruise, I actually didn't mind. Yeah. It's just that they make them, they put them in situations. Tom Cruise I actually liked. For one thing, he wasn't grinning and I had those big ass fucking teeth of his, but I liked him playing that callous rocker who's just burned out, doesn't have to even try because everybody loves him. But Alec Baldwin and Russell Brand, they have the joke you guys were talking about. I don't want to so-called spoil it here, but it's a one-note joke that doesn't even need to be in the movie, and it's an embarrassing musical number.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like those two characters, like what you just named right there. Because I was like, you know what? I almost want to give this credit because Tom Cruise, I don't mind. As a matter of fact, I think his singing is, fair for what it is.
And he did sing in this.
He did his own singing.
I can't believe he's older than 50.
Yeah, and he looks great. He does a good job. And Alec Baldwin and Russell Brand, Russell Brand, sometimes when he's playing like a subordinate role, I'll be like, I don't mind this guy. The two of them together, I was like, they're sort of my anchor. I'm kind of liking them up until the longer it goes on, the less I did. And when it gets to that number where they peak with that story arc, I just hated them from that point on. I was like, wow, this is the point where I completely abandoned this movie.
Well, I thought Tom Cruise was trying too fucking hard. Like he was trying to get that high note that he had with Tropic Thunder. Yeah, like I thought he was trying to like hit a high note again with what he did with Tropic Thunder, playing a character that is so out of his realm that it's just not Tom Cruise.
I don't know about that. It's not out of his realm. It's this guy who's this huge icon who the world
kind of an asshole.
That's kind of an asshole, and everyone thinks he's kind of insane.
I don't know.
And he's got a giant ego on him.
Not much of a stretch, right?
But the thing is, like, it's okay. Sure, he's playing himself. Finally, but I still couldn't buy it. I mean, watching scenes with him and watching scenes with fucking Russell Brand, who this is where he was going with his career. I mean, to playing the character that he is right now, this is like this is like his comedy manifested into a character, who he actually is. But watching these guys on the screen, I kept waiting for the fucking Muppets to come up on screen and start telling the guys, "Hey, we're going to be on 5 minutes." That's kind of the movie I felt like I was watching. I was like, they're not this movie. I can't tell if it's supposed to be somewhat of a comedy or where they're going with this. Like,
it's a comedy.
What is the point of it? There's no doubt it's a comedy, but I never got the feeling like it wasn't. It was taking itself seriously because there was never that point where I was like, wait, okay, with Alec Baldwin's character, I was like, okay, maybe he represents the fact that like here's this aging rock guy, he's kind of ridiculous, and in this whole scene ridiculous. But the movie kept saying, isn't this awesome? Weren't these times awesome? Wasn't this great? Didn't you love being a rocker?
Like, no.
It's like, no, this is nobody's going to admit to how stupid this was. This should be an embarrassment that you make fun of and go with it.
And like, once again, even more so than that, all the jokes as far as they were, and the plot, the dialogue, the way it's written. I mean, this whole thing, what it reminded me of was one of those like video sketches they do at the Oscars.
Yeah.
It totally reminded me of that because you got all these celebrities in there playing these really earnest, ridiculous roles that they're kind of tongue-in-cheeking their way through it, that none of the jokes are actually very funny. It's just kind of weird watching these celebrities do these things. And that's about it. You don't want to see that for 2 fucking hours.
Well, it is
over 2 fucking hours.
No, it is over 2 hours.
But that's what this is. And like, there wasn't a single joke in here that made me laugh.
Well,
they were all like 50-year-old jokes.
This movie had a monkey in it. And I laugh at every fucking monkey joke. And this is the first time where I was like looking at the theater, like just getting pissed.
Well, that's because they had a baboon.
I was getting frustrated and fucking mad at this movie.
You need a chimp to be funny.
Yeah, you just racist against baboons. That's all.
Fuck
man. That baboon was funny, man. No, it is kind of preachy because they do take every 20, 30 minutes. Hey, man, rock lives on. Nothing's going to kill rock. The spirit of rock is never going to die. And it's like, you're talking about, I'm down with rock, but you're talking about that period of rock where dudes looked like bitches, and they were prettier than women, and all the makeup and the hairspray.
It's the most embarrassing time of metal ever, I thought.
Yeah. That's the period. You keep in mind, people. Really, I like this period of music because I never dressed up like this shit, for one thing. This one thing you can say about the 80s, like black dudes would never get away with trying to dress like this.
I'm surprised you don't hate it for how many times you went to tap on a chick to ask her if you could buy her a drink, and it turned around, it was a dude.
Yeah, and it was Russell Brand.
Hey, it's a period of rock that's, and I think, and see, this is what I'm saying. It is a period of rock. You got to keep in mind, like, probably the best thing about this period is that it gave birth to Kurt Cobain, who just said, fuck all that.
Well,
but
yeah, and that's
that's the thing. I was like, watch this movie. I was like, wow, I get it. Now I understand why grunge became so popular.
Yeah.
Because it had to kill this shit off.
Well, around that time, that period too, Metallica was finally like, they were coming into their own because they were completely opposed to this genre of music. I mean, what the scene represented.
The fact that people were calling it metal and it in no way resembled any metal.
Well, it did resemble.
It was just ballads and soft love songs.
No. A lot of metal in the chains and all the 10 rings that all the guys wore.
No, the look, but not the actual sound.
But it's one of those.
It wasn't hard.
It was one of those movies that really reminded me why I never really gave a shit about all that glam metal and all that hair metal, whatever, cock rock, whatever the fuck you want to label it. Because I was like, wow, you know what? Just like this storyline, for me at the time, there was nothing to that music that made it interesting as far as lyrics and what it represented, where I was like, it's the most generic, raise your fist at authority and go, hey, fuck you guys, where I'm like, but you're dressing up like fucking chicks.
Now everybody, you say this, but everybody has somebody like from that period. Leon, you a big David Lee Roth fan from that period.
Well, you notice they didn't play any Van Halen in that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those are some greedy motherfuckers. They charge a lot of money to put their shit in the movie.
No one is saying there wasn't any good music in the 80s. That's not what we're saying. We're saying they just picked the ones that weren't.
I will say that period is even looking back on itself and having a bit of a laugh. I mean, it's just like when hippies look back and saw how they were dressed up and shit. It's a period where people look back on humorous nostalgia, and there are moments in this movie where it actually it does that. I mean, what was Tom Cruise's name in this movie?
Stacey Jacks.
Stacey Jacks. I mean, there were moments where he was playing that, even though he's so deadpan in it. There were moments where he was playing it for fun, and when he would break out in song, they were doing it with the same sense of humor that people look back on that period.
He would score high on Rock Band, yeah. I mean,
I'm just saying that there are moments where where they broke off into song, they were doing it with such such a tongue-in-cheek attitude that I thought it was funny. Also, and there were other characters that I like in the movie. Paul Giamatti as the sleazy manager for Tom Cruise. I thought he made me laugh whenever he was on.
It was cool to see Paul Giamatti pull a different role than he normally does. Oh, wait. This is the same role he always plays.
No, he does not. No, that's not true.
Most cliched part ever.
No,
the worst was actually...
he'd do that in Sideways. Come on now.
The worst was actually seeing him about to sing one of the fucking songs where it's like he came to his fucking senses and like, you know what, maybe I should stay out of that.
I will say this. I like how they shaved his pubes and put it on his face, because I'm like, damn, that is the worst fake goatee I've ever seen.
And the weird sort of the only tension that's really in the movie of any real kind, because the romantic tension, which you can see coming from the first 5 minutes, is one of those things we hate. We're like, well, if they would just talk to each other for 2 seconds, that would be over. But the other thing, like, oh, this is what's going to get everybody in trouble, was Catherine Zeta-Jones, who is like the head of the PMRC, and she's useless. There's no point to her whole story. It's just an excuse for a terrible joke.
Oh yeah, she leads a political and religious group of people who want to stop rock and roll.
Yeah, it's stolen right out of history.
But she also, this is what I'm talking about. There's a scene where her and all these middle-aged conservative women, they break out into a musical number, and that musical number goes on and on. They do the same dance moves that have nothing more to do, and that is one of the biggest examples of this movie. Just, I would say, overdoing it, overacting, mugging, people just having freedom to do all these gestures, and while thinking they're being funny, and we're looking at it and thinking, you're just kind of embarrassing yourself right now. Catherine Zeta-Jones she has the most embarrassing musical number in there for me.
Yeah, she does.
I feel sorry for the person who really loves this music, where it actually meant something to them, and to watch this, to really have somebody else tell you, look, man, this is how I look at how your fun, the great time you had back then. This is how I interpret it. And it's the worst fucking piece of shit that anybody can ever take a dump on the Sunstrip Strip.
You know what? I didn't think about it before, but you're right. It really is, in its way, just telling those people, like, I don't give a shit about you, but hey, is this what I can do to get some of your money? Well, then come on, man.
Easily.
Step up.
Easily.
Have a good time. Whatever, you dumb fuck.
And you know, nowadays, when I want to see a big production with dancing and singing, I want to be impressed by the talent involved. I want to go, wow, that was a pretty good dance number. Or, wow, I like the way they reorchestrated that piece of music. There's not a moment in this whole film where I admired it on either one of those levels. In fact, one friend of mine said the only evidence of any talent in this movie is a random faceless stripper on a pole who does a pretty impressive move.
That's right. That was the one thing that made
was the only thing that everybody went, oh my God.
I thought Mary J. Blige was all right. She didn't have a whole lot to do, but I thought while she was
she didn't do anything new or impressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She wasn't embarrassing, but
she's genuinely talented, but she's just kind of crowbarred in there so late in the movie.
She was the one character where I was like, really? I was really thinking hard. Why is she involved in this story? What purpose does she serve?
They had to have a black person.
Yeah, she's the black woman. She was the magical, mystical Negro. Yeah. I mean, think about it. She was.
You're right.
When the blind girl from the small town going to the big city, when she's walking in the rain and
the small town girl living in a lonely world.
Living in a lonely world. When she's walking around and she dropped her purse in the rain, she's on the sidewalk, she's giving up on life. Here comes Mary J. Blige. She's like singing, crispy chicken. I know you're hungry.
Because when I
feed
saw
you.
I don't know what it says about me, but when I saw her, when I was like, oh, good, somebody black is in this movie. Somebody with some soul who can dance and sing.
Why don't you get out of the rain, you dumb cracker?
And then when she started to break out in the song, I'm like, oh no, she's fucking just as cursed as everybody else.
You know what? She did come out of nowhere. She was in a doorway. It just so happens that she had a strip club next to this girl. And of course, she's that black woman was like, come on in, baby. Let me take care of you. But you got to get out of here once I feed you. You know, that kind of thing.
Now you drink up and dry off. But remember, this is just a rest stop.
I need a job.
Do you dance?
I'm a better singer.
I don't need a singer. And you're a pretty girl. You want to make some real money? You gotta dance. You also have to be tough, too. And you don't look too tough to me.
I'm tough.
It's not right for everyone, honey. Hey there.
I can wait tables. I'm good.
Are you sure? Okay. Start tomorrow.
But you know, you just mentioned something that it's another great point. You mentioned a strip club, which there's strippers, but no tits.
Who don't get naked.
No fucking tits in this movie. When you're dealing with 80s fucking hairband rock, that's what all that fucking bullshit music was about half the time. Like, there's a song called Girls, Girls, Girls. That shit.
Yeah. But it was all about the band playing and ignoring all these
ignoring the fucking girls.
Patton Oswalt said it best. He said, have you ever seen an 80s hair metal video? It's a bunch of guys rocking out in a warehouse that manufactures sparks. Well, miles away, there's a bunch of girls dancing who better have their own guys because they ain't getting any dick from Striper with a Y.
That's another thing where it's like the commitment of this story. It's like they have to give you the Disneyized version of what that is.
Co-host, there is actually truth in that. People were not allowed to show breasts in strip clubs until the 90s.
Right.
What?
Did you not know
Bullshit.
this? No. Learn your history, young robot. You learn your history.
CBGB's Gigi Allen was always naked on stage.
That was a guy.
That is doubly irritating because the film's whole thing is like, rock and roll's about rebellion, and it is the most Disneyfied, just toothless, as you said, Leon. I mean, just bland thing. You're like, wow, this is what rock and roll would be like if the Nazis had won World War II.
All right, I will allow Godwin's law this one time.
Wow. I was going to say, I was thinking about saying it, I was like, you know what? I think I should get an exception this time because there's so much truth to that.
Well, okay, you know what? Let's just let all y'all go ahead and dogpile on this movie because I know y'all gonna do it to me, but that's fine. Go ahead, Leon. What you?
No, you start off.
No, I'm not gonna do that. No,
you're the one who loved. You're the one who loved it over there.
Why don't you just go ahead and give it your
y'all already teaming up on me. I'm gonna get the last word here. Goddammit. Go ahead.
You know what? The thing is, something you brought up about musicals that use existing music, and I'm with you right there. You know, Mamma Mia. Ugh. And I remember not liking
Wow,
That's a great review.
You see his tongue just roll out of his mouth while he's looking at me.
and being cold to Moulin Rouge for the same reason. But watching this movie, I really thought, I was like, wow, I wish I could see Baz Luhrmann so I could apologize to him and go like, you know what, dude, I might not like your movie, but you did put a lot of artistry into it and you made something special. Ain't nothing special about this shit. We've been overloaded with Glee and Rock Band and karaoke, and it's just too much. And this isn't, it's pushing it to that point because it's go like, hey, this is what everybody likes. Let's just make some more money off of it. And I tried to go with it. I really did. But I was like, man, I may just give it a low matinee, a low rental, because even though I hate it, it's for some people. But you get to that point with Alec Baldwin and Russell Brand, and I was like, nah, this is jumped into some old bullshit. There's just no way around it. I'm sorry. And I was like, I'm just have to end it there. But once it pushed past 2 hours, I'm like, oh, my dear sir, you have earned yourself a fuck you.
Damn, a fuck you.
Yes, indeed.
Are you sure about
you.
that?
Well, it was
Fuck them all, Leon.
It was a fuck you last week when I saw it. Every day since then, it's been going down. We just don't have a lower rating.
Okay. Yeah, the more I think about this movie, the more it makes me angry, and that's usually my key as well. If I can't get over the fact that a movie pissed me off that bad, then it is indeed a fuck you. This is indeed a fuck you. There's so few examples where it even goes above that too barely as some old bullshit. I can't understand not giving it a fuck you. I love Moulin Rouge. It's one of my favorite movies.
Sure.
I have no problem with reconfiguring popular music for a musical. This just does it with that sort of they should have a 1 billion people with very low expectations serve sign like McDonald's. You're like, oh yeah, there's a lot of people who are going to love this shit who absolutely have no taste. You're just like, well, I was entertained and I didn't have to think. Well, good for you. But I do like to think, and I do like to be entertained by something that tries to put up something that's mildly new or original or well constructed, and this is not it. This is just fuck you all over it. Fuck this movie. Fuck everybody involved in this movie.
Yes.
I'm not even gonna watch 30 Rock next season now. Fuck you, Alec Baldwin.
It makes you it makes you not want to watch anybody who is involved in this. It makes you not want to watch any of their work ever again. But most importantly, it makes you not ever want to hear any of those fucking songs that were fucking played in this movie ever again. I mean, when I was in my car hauling the fuck away from Armageddon, I mean, I felt bad because I was like, man, it's like I saw an iceberg coming towards the boat. And I just said, fuck it. And I left my friends behind. I didn't even bother to fucking go back and tell them, hey, I'm bailing. I'm getting the fuck out of here. You guys are more than welcome to come. I was too busy thinking about myself. So I jumped ship. And I'm sorry that iceberg hit and you guys had to fucking sink with that fucking awful ship. But yeah, I mean, this.
And Leon, by the way, there was enough room on that door for both of us. It's kind of fucked up. I just want to say.
But no, I mean, this movie has done what, I mean, I can't think of the last movie, honestly, I really walked out that made me feel like I was on the verge of throwing up, where I felt literally sick. I mean, I originally went outside just to take a breather because my head was just fucking burning with just all this crap that I was seeing on screen, a bunch of actors that were not committed to this genre of music. I mean, this fucking cold, calculated money grab of a movie feeding on people's fucking nostalgia like leeches, like some infestation. And I wanted to throw up, and I've never had a movie do this to me ever. This is one of those movies that makes you want to quit your job. And I'm sorry, but obviously you know where this is going, to where even giving it a fuck you doesn't do it justice at all. I feel bad for every movie I've given a fuck to you in the past. I felt, wow, I'm the asshole. I'm the jackass. I misrepresented myself. But this movie, no. Fuck you and the steel horse you rode in on. Fuck your mother. Fuck everything about you, and fuck you and how you got into this business. All right. So yeah, I'm sorry, but that's how I feel.
Wait, you didn't give your rating.
And yeah. It's a man.
And now, the review we've all been looking
and now the
forward
captain steps up.
to hearing.
Oh, you angry souls.
Captain's still on that sinking ship.
I will go down with the ship.
The SS matinee.
I don't. See, you'd be surprised. You'd be.
I know, because once everyone started getting on him for that, he started doing it with Reynolds on stage.
Commander Reynolds. Yes.
Yes. Reporting, sir. I don't know what to say, man. The only reason I'm going last is because you all have the same thing in common. The worst thing I could say about this movie, besides the embarrassments that I mentioned in the review, is, this is like going to watch karaoke, which in its own way can be annoying sometimes. But this is watching people who showed up in costume and took it seriously and performed their asses off and didn't stop after one song or two songs. They hogged the stage and kept going. Having said that, though, I mean, I found myself laughing in some spots. I just don't hate it like you guys did. I've seen, this is too close to Chernobyl Diaries for me. I've seen horrors. This is a low rental right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chernobyl Diaries. I would sit through that movie for 2 whole days.
You are a fool.
I really would.
Because somebody asked me that exact thing. He's like, well, at least it wasn't as bad as Chernobyl Diaries, right? I was like, fuck you. I'd watch Chernobyl Diaries right now if I could go back in time and take this movie out of my experience.
Yeah, I'm changing my fucking rating for Chernobyl Diaries to a goddamn matinee at least.
Y'all go ahead. Y'all look down on me.
That is a masterpiece of a film.
Y'all look down on me all you want to. I don't care.
Corey, we're not gonna take it.
No, you go right ahead. Because I was gonna tell you, I'm a cowboy on a steel horse. Hey, everybody, on a steel horse. All right, come on, Leon, sing with me.
Hey, I thought I told you go fuck that steel horse.
Ladies and gentlemen, the icon of rock, the legendary Stacey Jacks.